Good evening, y'all. This is PR. I'm back again. Hope you guys are having a satisfying evening. We just got done eating supper. Well, I wouldn't call it a dinner or a supper, but it was more like snacks. We had fries, Arby's fries, and we had spring rolls, which I made in the air fryer. Oh my goodness, when you cook in the air fryer, you guys, it's just like eating at a restaurant. It was delicious. So I'm coming to you tonight to talk about the vow. And the vow in particular is the sickness and health vow. Because I really need to talk about this. Because prior to today, I didn't really have anybody that I could talk to who was going through what we're going through. And I still don't, but I'm getting closer to finding people that have what we're going through. So just let me tell you a little bit about what's going on. My husband and I, we've been married for 32 plus years, and life has been really good for us. Um, you know, we got married, and the minister, he said the vows, and pretty much I didn't listen to the vows. I didn't take them, I'm not going to say I didn't take them serious, but I I didn't place any emphasis on them. I mean, I understood the love and then the comfort, and then there was some other vows, sickness and in health, and to death do us part, and I think it's probably another one in there, but I can't remember it. But you don't really think too much about those until you know things happen, and it gives you great pause, like what we're going through. So, my husband was diagnosed in 2017 with COPD, and recently I found out that his COPD is called emphysema. And to me, emphysema is much worse than just the COPD. When I hear COPD, I think about asthma, and but I don't think about COPD. But to me, yeah, it's worse. So, so we knew he had that, and we've seen some progressive changes with his stamina through the years, and his shortness of breath. We saw that, and so we just made adjustments, and that was fine. So fast forward to about 6 years later, in 2022, he kept getting sick with lung infections, and he would every 6 weeks or so he'd be on an antibiotic to get rid of it, and then all of a sudden it would come back again. He also got COVID 3 times, and in March things really got challenging. He got really sick. He had fevers, he had chills, and he was complaining about his back hurting. And I didn't know how to put all those two together or whatever. He was just saying, I don't feel good. I don't feel good. And I would say, well, you want to call the doctor? Then he would say, no, let's take some cough medicine. Let's take some Tylenol. So we did all those things. And then one night, it got so bad that he said, oh, my back is killing me. I need to go to the emergency room. And when he tells you that, then you know he's really feeling bad. So I called the rescue squad, and this was around 3 o'clock in the morning. And I asked them, I said, when you come to our house, can you just not turn the sirens on? Because it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. So they said, well, explain to me why they couldn't. But they did. They didn't turn them on. But it was a lot of them that showed up. Excuse me, guys. So when they came, oh my goodness, you had the fire department, you had 2 rescue squads, so they all came in with all their equipment and everything, and they took his vital signs. They asked me tons of questions about his meds. Uh, they started an IV and whatever else they did. It was a lot, and they were on the phone to the hospital, and I think it probably took them about 15 to 20 minutes, and then they were gone. And I told my husband, I gave him a kiss. I said, I'll meet you at the hospital. So when they got him in the hospital, um, he came in one door and I came in another because I had to, I had to get my clothes on and everything. And so told them I was looking for my husband. They said, well, he's in the triage. So I went there and they was asking him more questions and everything, and they hooked him up to the EKG, and then all of a sudden he only stayed in there like 5 minutes, so I guess maybe they seen something with his EKG. So then they whisked him back to another area. Then they did CT scans. They did ABGs or whatever they called it. And whatever else they did. It was a lot of tests. So that went on for a long time. He was really sick. I mean, they at one point they were taking blood like every 10, 15 minutes. So come to find out, what he had was it's called pleural effusion and pneumonia and something else. So they admitted him, and he ended up staying in the hospital for 11 days. That was a long time. And guys, when he came out, he just wasn't the same. He had lost 20 pounds in 11 days, and his thinking was a little fuzzy, but he's since got that back. But he's still not the same hubby that I knew before. And ever since the hospitalization, he just has never been the same. And might I add, during that time, he was also diagnosed with lung cancer. That was a new diagnosis. So we're dealing with so after he got out, then we had, lots of consultations, lots of x-rays, because we're getting ready to make a decision about his cancer. What do we want to do? Do we want to have surgery? Do we want to do chemo, radiation? So it turns out, because of his COPD, he was not strong enough for the surgery. So anyhow, let's fast forward to July. Because with insurances and everything, you have to go through all these tests and everything. And in the meanwhile, I'm like, okay, he's got cancer. Why on earth is it taking so long for him to start his treatments? It takes a long time. So we finally got started with the treatments and everything, and he breezed through that. He did really good. He didn't lose his hair. He may have lost some strands, and he didn't get neuropathy. He did not develop that, and that was amazing. He did lose his appetite, nausea, vomiting, and they have medicines for that. So then we finished the treatment, and we get home, and he's still a little weak, still not himself. And so all this time I'm like, oh, I would love to talk to somebody about what we're going through, and if is it going to get any better? And this time we're just hanging on to every word that the doctor says, and we ask questions, but we don't get the answers that we really want. So we get through that, and here we are we're in October now, and he's still not the same husband that I'm used to. But that's okay. That's all right. I'm still